Cardenas of the First Time Machine. And what was the question?
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Well, I love making movies, and I've been working with Jay and Derek and Scott from, well, I know Scott from Portsmouth, Ohio. We were in Little League together and went to the Ohio State University. That's a fun fact.
I'm Jay Woelfel, First Time Machine. Fun fact, this is the first time I've been in Maumee. And this movie was shot in Ohio, but this is the first Ohio Film Festival it's been in.
Hello, everybody. Ooh, they put a little bass on it. Okay, put a little bit of bass on it. Now we're all really awake. My name is Juty. I was Dr. Granger in the First Time Machine. And a really fun fact about myself is I'm the best rapper in Columbus.
My name is Jake Alter. I made Give Up. And a fact about me, if you couldn't tell by the film, is that I don't really like my day job.
Hey, Ed Castaneda. I am the producer of Fire and Oak and writer, director, producer of Rock Bottom. Fun fact about me, I'm from East Toledo and live in Seattle now for about 15 years.
Hey, there we go. Much better. If anybody has any questions, just raise your hand and I will run to you with the mic. Going once, going twice. Here we go. All right. 3 people raise their hand at once.
For you, Ed, the stone skipping competition, is it the 100th annual or the 21st annual?
I'm glad you noticed that. So it was on purpose that we changed it, and when we did promos for it, we called it the 97th, then we called it the 80th, and we just wanted to have as much fun with it. And I mean, random numbers. So you pick it, it's what it is.
All right, Jay, my good friend, what was your stick budget on this? I'm just kidding. What was the biggest challenge of making this film? What was the thing you had to battle the most?
And I'll let these guys answer the same question because it might be different. The biggest challenge, I always say, like making movies, like the thing you think will be hardest turns out to be really easy, and the thing you never thought would, So the biggest challenge on this was that the lab scene should have been the easy shoot because it was indoors with a bunch of actors. But when we got there, they told us that the elevator was broken and the lab was on the 3rd floor. So the movie began with 3.5 hours of sitting around. And also the first camera card we recorded on, when we went to download it, the downloader goes like, the card's not working. So I was like, that's lunch, everybody. And I didn't tell most of the actors. Anthony Baldessare came up to me, he goes, worst case scenario. I said, worst case scenario, we haven't shot anything today. We were able to recover the card. Anyway,
Oh yeah, that was a very fun time. I was one of the actors during that break. We have enjoyed ourselves. We found ourselves in a very fun food hall where I may or may have not flirted with a very attractive person. Allegedly.
I had no idea about that. But yes, I would agree with Jay that that card, the first media card in the lab at Bowling Green State University, the Chem Lab, was probably the most scary moment at that moment because we didn't know if we could recover it or not, and it took at least an hour to actually recover it. Fortunately for our engineer on it, Chad Fletcher, who I'm not sure if he's here or not, but thanks to him, we got that footage back.
Another question here. Here we go. This guy's got some good ones this whole weekend.
No pressure, right? Thank you so much for your projects. I mean, they were all so interesting, so fun to watch. For First Time Machine, I always think it's so interesting to find that balance between story and message. What did you want some the audience to kind of take away with this story? And how did you find that balance?
I'll let these guys kind of answer this question also, but First Time Machine is based on a short story by Frederick Brown, who's a sort of lesser-known, great post-World War II science fiction and genre writer from Cincinnati. In the original short story is like 1 page long. Frederick Brown never describes any characters in his stories. So the only character he described was that the grandfather is a redhead. So I was like, whatever we do, the grandfather's got to be a redhead. Casting a redhead was actually proved to be rather difficult. The story is completely non-denominational, and after I read it, I thought, this would make a great movie, but why would I do that? And for whatever reason, I had no idea, except that I had never done it. I was like, what if the only white guy in the movie is the time traveler? And then from there it grew out, well, if that, then what? And so then the rest of it just sort of fell into place. So there you go. But yeah, I plot, story first, hopefully a message. The message shouldn't be in front of the characters and in front of the movie. Hopefully it grows naturally out of what's going on, but you shouldn't be waving your message flag before the film starts, because now you're already putting some people at a distance, where otherwise they watch the show, and afterwards, if they're into the characters, then I think the message or the theme, whatever that is, hopefully then comes out, through telling the story, but you're telling the story about people first.
Yeah, as an actor on the project portraying Dr. Granger, it was a story about connection and disconnection is kind of what I got from the messaging of it. I thought the characters were really fascinating, and that we start out with the time machine and these friends, and they're kind of like mulling it over a little bit. And then, as we go in that kind of, you just said a very great word, it was kind of like a misdirect. As the story goes on and we follow the true first-time traveler of the First Time Machine, it really opened up to be a story where both the beginning kind of created a new ending, and when we popped out into the new reality of the world post well, actually, let me not speak too much on it. Everybody take your own little thoughts from that. But I thought it was about connection and disconnection. It was about relationships and the lack thereof, and what worlds we create or don't create with that connection is how I took it.
Wes gets a creative consultant question because he really sort of rode me on this movie. We'd never met before.
Yeah.
So his first question to me on the phone is like, what are your intentions? And I was like, I'm always sort of interested, I was sort of challenged by that. It's sort of like, my intentions are always to make the best movie possible kind of thing. But I was glad he asked that. Because the discussion of making the movie is part of what's great about making the movie is working with the people. And hopefully then during your interactions with the people, you start to understand, and people are watching the movie will start to get what it's supposed to be about. So yeah, but you're the first person to ever start our first conversation with, hello, what are your intentions?
Yeah, for me, Jay sent me the story from Frederick Brown, and I was very intrigued by it. And we talked about it for quite a while. And I knew it was about these relationships of all these friends and what they knew about each other, but also what they found that they didn't know about each other. But the challenge that I also had was, while I was very interested in trying to figure out how to do the time travel shots, I didn't want that to overshadow the relationships and the story and what the audience would feel like they would get out of that as well. Thank you.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Anybody?
How much do you hate your day job?
You see the scars on my back.
Oh, here's the scar to back. Who's that? You? Okay.
Yeah, I don't like the day job. No.
What do you do?
I'm an engineer for a defense contractor.
Okay.
So to wrap this up real quick, I'd like to ask all of you, what are you each working on next? What to expect in the film world from each of you?
So first off, I'm addicted to 48, so I did one in the summer. I have another one coming up, in the horror one here, probably 2 more next year. But I have what I'm calling my signature short, and it's called My Fat Feet. We just finished production on that. It's a drama, and we're in camp edit with that. So hope to be done with that by the end of the year. Film fest next year.
I am continuing to write. It's kind of difficult to find time and energy when you work in a kind of an intense day job, obviously, right? So I am continuing to write. I'm setting up another kind of surreal movie about a guy who works a terrible day job and ends up kidnapping a bunch of people and torturing them in horrible ways. So that's the next one for me.
First, I'd like to really thank these gentlemen for having me a part of this project. It really opened my eyes to a lot about the screenwriting and things of that nature. So I've stumbled into and have been going very intensely for the past couple of months into what is going to be the project of my lifetime, I believe. And it is called Do Good Danger. It's about so many things, but it's a story about the future. It's very present, though, with the things that are going on in the world as we speak today. And I'm just going to collaborate with as many other artisans from the film and sound universe to bring it forward. So thank you.
I don't know whether to do a short or a feature next, and there's a couple shorts I've been looking at. Short stories. There's another Frederick Brown short story called, I don't remember the title. The opening scene is the police come and catch this guy who just killed somebody, a woman, a redhead again. And they say, you just killed this woman. And he goes, you mean she was real? And that's the start of this whole guy's journey of what the whole world really is, the sort of the secret behind the world.
Jay has sent me a short script and a feature script, so I'm reading those. But the other producer who lives in Brazil, Paulo, he has sent me a feature, sort of a thriller. And originally he asked me to film it in Brazil, but now he's thinking to come here. But those are just hoping to collaborate with some other creatives.
Oh yeah, I should just say, yeah, Paulo, this movie, I was sort of saying, we're in the international category. The guy who did the animation, Jason, lives in South Africa. And Paulo, one of the producers on the movie, is in Brazil. So from Ohio to South Africa and Brazil. And down to Columbus, the distance of Columbus, Ohio.
All right, thank you guys so much. One more round of applause. Great.